She let a homeless man sleep in her garage for one night, unaware he was a millionaire, and the night was colder than usual in the small town of Cedar Falls. The kind of cold that made people shut their windows tight, double-check their locks, and hurry past strangers without a second glance. But not Emily Carter. A single mother of two and a full-time nurse, Emily had known struggle, the kind that made you appreciate every dollar, every helping hand, and every bit of warmth. It was nearly midnight when she spotted him. A bearded man in ragged clothes stood at the end of her driveway, shivering, his eyes sunken but gentle. He looked exhausted, as if the world had kicked him too many times and he no longer had the strength to fight back. Emily's first instinct was caution, she had children asleep inside. But something in the man's posture, the way he kept his eyes lowered, hands visible, made her pause. "Sir, are you all right?" she asked from a distance. "I'm sorry," he replied hoarsely, "I was just going to sleep behind your garage. I'm not trying to cause trouble." Emily hesitated, her heart battling her fear. Then, without overthinking it, she said, "Wait. You can sleep in the garage. It's warmer than outside." The man looked up, stunned. "Are you sure?" "I'll bring you a blanket and some tea," she said, already turning toward the house. That night, she didn't sleep much. She kept the hallway light on, ears alert, yet something inside her said she'd done the right thing. In the morning, the man was still there, sitting cross-legged on the floor, the blanket folded neatly beside him, the cup washed and placed near the door. "I'm sorry if I worried you," he said. "I'll be gone now." "No," Emily replied softly. "Have some breakfast first." Over toast and eggs, she learned his name was Daniel. He had been living on the streets for almost a year after a series of business failures and a devastating divorce. He had no one left and no one who seemed to care. "You'd be surprised," he said, "how invisible you become when you're homeless." Emily nodded, her eyes misting. She couldn't imagine not having a place to call home, not for herself, not for her kids. "Just one night inside meant more than I can ever explain," Daniel said quietly. "Thank you." He left before the kids woke up. Emily never expected to see him again. A week passed, then two. Life moved on. Emily went back to work, shuffling between shifts and school pickups, holding her little world together with quiet strength. Then, one Friday morning, a black SUV pulled up to her driveway. Out stepped a man in a tailored suit with a familiar face, clean-shaven now, hair trimmed, and eyes that held the same quiet gentleness. "Emily?" he asked. She blinked. "Daniel?" He smiled. "I wanted to come back, properly." Before she could say anything, he continued, "I lied to you, but only because I needed to be invisible for a while. I was a millionaire once. Maybe I still am, technically. I ran several tech startups. But after my wife left and my company collapsed, I lost the will to care. I walked away from everything." Emily's mouth was open, words caught in her throat. "That night," Daniel said, his voice breaking, "your kindness reminded me I was still human. You didn't ask for anything. You didn't expect anything. You just helped. And that saved me." Tears welled in her eyes. He handed her an envelope. "Please open it later. I just want you to know, you changed a life." Inside that envelope were the documents to a trust fund, for Emily's children, enough to pay for their education and more. Along with it was a handwritten note that simply said, "You gave me shelter when I had nothing. Now let me give your children the chance to dream." The story went viral weeks later after a local journalist picked it up. People from around the country wrote to Emily, praising her compassion. She always said the same thing in return. "I didn't do anything special. I just treated someone like a human being." Daniel, now rebuilding his life, launched a new foundation aimed at supporting families who showed kindness to the homeless, starting with Emily's town. One small act. One night. One blanket and a cup of tea. That's all it took to remind someone of their worth, and in doing so, ripple kindness further than anyone could have imagined. In a world growing colder by the day, Emily's story became a quiet flame, reminding us that when we choose compassion over fear, when we open our doors just a little wider, lives can change. Hearts can heal. And hope, once lost, can be found again, in the warmth of a garage on a freezing night.